Australia has commemorated Anzac Day, or it commemorated the First World War, pretty much from the time of those awful losses, that these people, these men, got sent off to distant battlefields and their bodies couldn't come home, but there was still something like a gravesite or a commemoration where parents and family could remember them.
I think Anzac Day is really important. Obviously, the generation before us fought for us and they served well, and it is kind of a shame that a lot of them are just stuck in nursing homes.
Yeah, well, my dad's in the Defence Force, so it does mean quite a bit to us. I don't go to the ceremonies or anything, but he always goes, and I think it's very important for Australia to remember that.
As a family, we celebrate Anzac Day pretty seriously. We get up early and everything like that because my pop used to be in the army.
My family's always celebrated Anzac Day. We try to make it to the dawn service every year. I suppose it's just remembering those that have died before us, celebrating Australia's history.
I haven't celebrated Anzac Day for several years. I think probably my age and not having grandparents that are still alive, I really don't celebrate it or really have a good understanding of what Anzac Day is about.
As a New Zealander in Australia, Anzac Day is actually a bit of an interesting experience, because for me, Anzac, Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, whereas in Australia in the present it's very much been taken to mean Australian soldier, synonymous with digger. And that's again an interesting reinterpretation of the past and a nationalising of an event that was an empire event, was a colonial event, rather than an Australian one at the time that it occurred.
I think our generation has really lost the meaning of Anzac Day. I know for my mum it's still an important thing and she always goes to Anzac Day events, but for me as a young person, I haven't attended them for several years.
I don't think we're really losing Anzac Day because, as you see in Townsville every year, the parade's always getting bigger. You've got more and more school children, they're all being taught about it in schools, in their history classes. I think there has been a bit of a loss of the tradition when you see the last of the Anzacs passing away.
Because what's interesting is that Anzac Day is actually gathering pace and becoming more celebrated rather than less celebrated. It seems to be one of those things that in a secular society it's getting taken up. So for example, there are actually 20,000 people at Anzac Cove for Anzac Day in 2005. There's an expectation that there'll be 50,000 people there for the 100-year anniversary in 2015. That's an awful lot of people. And they're young people. Obviously there aren't survivors from the First World War, there might be a couple here and there, but it's not the people who are actually there who are commemorating these events now. It's being taken up by young people, and there is that sense, I think, of a kind of religious aspect to the commemoration, that they're interested in perhaps nationalism, ideas about sacrifice, and it might also be a reflection of increasing militarism in our society.